Welcome back. Today we tackle a question that fascinates millions of people around the world. Could scientists ever bring dinosaurs back to life? It sounds like pure science fiction, something straight out of Jurassic Park. Scientists are actually working on bringing back a species that has been extinct for thousands of years, the woolly mammoth. The genetic material is degraded, but not completely gone. And with modern technology, scientists believe it's just enough to work with. Dinosaurs, unlike mammoths, died out over 66 million years ago. DNA, the blueprint of life, is a fragile molecule. Under ideal conditions, it might survive for a few 100,000 years. But 66 million? That's far beyond the limit. Any dinosaur DNA that ever existed has long since broken down into unrecognizable fragments. Despite what movies may suggest, scientists have never extracted usable dinosaur DNA from amber-trapped insects or fossilized bones. These embryos are not allowed to hatch, of course, but it shows the genetic potential is there. If we keep pushing this technology, we may eventually create a bird-like creature that strongly resembles a dinosaur in form, and maybe even in function. Would we clone it like we do with sheep or cows? We've recovered some proteins, like collagen, but proteins alone aren't enough to recreate an animal. That's right, just a few years from now. Bringing back dinosaurs could result in a high failure rate and a lot of suffering. Or perhaps smaller, less threatening species for easier control. Every dollar spent trying to bring back a long-dead creature is a dollar not spent on saving endangered animals today. Not going to happen anytime soon, and maybe never. But dinosaur-like creatures? Possibly. Within the next 100 years, we may see animals that look, walk, and drop a comment with the extinct species you want to bring back, if any, and act like the ancient giants we've only seen in movies. Should we invest in futuristic dreams or protect what we still have? The choice would likely depend on public interest, funding, and risk. A theme park might want big, scary carnivores. A scientific lab might opt for something small and manageable. But whatever we choose, we're playing with a dangerous level of control over life. But with real-world progress being made in de-extinction, yes, actual progress, this idea may not be as far-fetched as it once seemed. Their team is using advanced gene editing technology, particularly CRISPR, to insert specific mammoth genes into the DNA of the Asian elephant, which is its closest living relative. Even if you brought one back, it would have no natural place in today's world. It might not survive. Or worse, it might thrive too well, becoming an invasive species with no natural predators, disrupting entire food chains. That's right, birds are technically living dinosaurs. They evolved directly from small theropod dinosaurs, and they still carry many of the same genes. Some scientists have proposed using gene editing to turn off certain evolutionary changes in bird embryos, like beaks instead of snouts or feathered wings instead of arms, and produce a creature that physically resembles its ancient ancestors. These genes include adaptations like a thick coat of hair, smaller ears for cold weather, and a layer of insulating fat. The goal is not to clone a pure mammoth, because we don't have an intact mammoth genome, but living organisms built to look and behave like them. Think of them as biological recreations, rather than authentic revivals. Would that be enough to satisfy human curiosity? Or would we still be chasing the impossible dream of a real T-Rex? But rather to create a cold-resistant elephant that behaves and survives like a mammoth in Arctic conditions. In this video, we're going to explore the cutting-edge science behind efforts to bring back extinct species, what that means for dinosaurs, and the enormous consequences that would follow if we ever tried. Let's start with what's happening right now. This effort is being led by a company called Colossal Biosciences. So why mammoths? Now, here's where it gets interesting. If we can do this with a mammoth, does that mean we could do the same with a dinosaur? The short answer is not anytime soon. and maybe not ever. Here's why. In other words, even if you found the most perfectly preserved dinosaur fossil imaginable, it would still lack the complete, undamaged DNA needed to recreate that species. So, does that mean the dream is dead? Maybe not entirely. There is another, slightly more realistic path, using modern animals, like birds, to reverse engineer dinosaur traits. This concept has already been tested in early-stage experiments. Researchers have managed to create chicken embryos with dinosaur-like snouts or extra vertebrae in their tails. Ben Lamb, co-founder of Colossal Biosciences, has said that within 100 years we could see dinosaur equivalents, not true dinosaurs. Let's imagine for a moment that we actually managed to get clean, complete dinosaur DNA. What would we do with it? And even if we overcame those challenges and managed to grow a real dinosaur, there's a bigger question. Should we? What kind of dinosaur would we bring back? A T-Rex, because it's famous. A Triceratops, because it's safer. Now, let's talk about consequences. First, ecosystems have changed dramatically since dinosaurs roamed the Earth. Bringing back the woolly mammoth is within reach and may happen as soon as 2028. True dinosaurs? The science is moving fast. But with every step forward, we must ask not just can we, but should we? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into de-extinction, hit that like button, subscribe for more science breakdowns.